Hey everyone. For today's topic, I wanted to talk about the importance of aiming not to use sweeping generalizations. This behavior is so freaking common nowadays, or at least I see it all the time on the internet. I see it quite often when I'm out and about in person. I'll overhear other people talking. My friends and I will use sweeping generalizations, and it's really common. And it's an unfortunate thing because it doesn't do much to bring us as humanity together. In fact, all it tends to do is divide us and polarize us even more. It makes people buy into these echo chambers and never get different opinions, so they start becoming incredibly radicalized on whatever groups they buy into. Like, this is one of the reasons I don't think the red pill is as great of a movement as a lot of guys say. It's got good in it, don't get me wrong, it's also got bad. Just like how feminism is not the greatest movement out there. It has good in it, but it also has a lot of bad. Because whenever we try to divide each other into these weird, ambiguous groups, we often just become so incredibly polarized against the people who are the opposite of the members of the group that we're trying to buy into. I mean, this happens with politics, it happens with social movements, it happens literally with sex. You can search for less than a minute on the internet and find people saying, all women are the same, all women are bad, or all men are the same, all men are bad. And it's like, really? Like, you guys believe this BS? If you believe that and your experience proves that to be correct in your opinion, or in your life, well, you're the common denominator. I would wager you're doing something wrong, and it's not all of women or all of men who are bad. It's you. You're the one who's attracting the wrong kinds of women or men into your life, and you're not realizing it somehow. You need to figure out what you're doing wrong and change it, because there is no way in hell that an entire group is the exact same and they're all bad and evil and we're the good guys because we don't fall into that group. Like, no, that's not how things work. Even when you get down to war, it's not as easy as good guys versus bad guys. Like, things are way more nuanced than that. So we can't use sweeping generalizations and expect to be correct. This is why so often in my videos I strive as much as possible to not make sweeping generalizations, because I know the harm that they can create. I mean, I've had bad experiences with women, but I would never say all women are the same or all women are bad. That's stupid. And not to mention, I've had a lot of great experiences with amazing women as well. The only bad part being almost all of them have been in relationships, so that kind of sucks. It's really difficult to find one who's actually single, but oh well, I won't get into that. It's a topic for another video. But we all should just strive to not buy into this ridiculous way of separating ourselves among really arbitrary lines like gender or monetary status, political status, whatever other social groups you fall into, or even race and religion. And it's just stupid. Like, there's no point in saying that. Like, this logic will almost always fall apart. So instead, what you should do is break things down into individual experiences, because that's what it really is. Like, the people who say all men are the same, those women, what they should really think is, I've had 5 or 10 individual experiences with 5 to 10 different men, and each one of them was a bad man. That doesn't mean that all men are bad. It just meant that those 5 to 10 men were bad, and they probably weren't the best choice to date them or get into relationships with them. That's the way we should think, rather than labeling an entire group using a sweeping generalization and saying all of them are the same. Like, I get so annoyed when I see people use this logic on the internet, especially when they're commenting on my videos. I made a video a while back talking about like how men are giving up on dating, and I got so many comments from really hurt men who are just bitter over like the average woman nowadays, and they're saying like all women are the same and so on and so forth. And I just look at that and I'm like, that's not true in any regard. The only way you could say like all women are the same is that, you know, they have the body parts that make them women. But even then, there sometimes are actually mutations that would make that not quite hold up. So yes, it's like you can't use these sweeping generalizations. It's just go through life treating things as individual cases. If you meet one conservative who's an asshole, think that one conservative is an asshole. If you meet a liberal who's like a self-righteous weirdo or something, I don't know, treat that as an individual case as well. That one liberal is self-righteous and not cool. If you meet a vegan who's incredibly annoying. Say that's one instance of a vegan. If you meet a carnivore who's very, I don't know, narcissistic, they think they're better than others, realize that that's just that one person who follows a carnivore diet. They don't represent everyone who does, and so on and so forth. It's just, we need to be better than this, and better than putting everybody in one box and saying that that box immediately, or the labels of that box immediately apply to everyone who fall within that box, because that's just, it's not true. So yeah, I'll get off my soapbox here. You can tell I'm passionate about this. It's so annoying. It's a lack of logic when people think in this way. It's all emotional based. It's all, I had bad experiences with a few people from this group, and now I hate everyone who falls into that group. And I just look at that like, really? Why are you doing this? Like, you're the one who's doing it to yourself, because you're thinking in that way. You're putting everyone who falls into that category and labeling them all as being bad. Like, you're the one doing it, because there's no way in hell that everybody who falls under a category are all bad or all good. It's just, life is a lot more nuanced than that. It's not black or white, it's very much gray. He's even said earlier, when it comes to warfare, there are no good guys or bad guys, because it all matters on whose perspective you're viewing. If you go to like the people who are on the bad guys in the war, but they have like children being bombed in buildings where they're at, you could easily, from the perspective of those children, say that the good guys are evil because they're the ones bombing the cities these children live in. So yeah, just use more nuance, guys. Be logical when you think, not emotional. Don't allow your emotions to control you, and just avoid sweeping generalizations as much as possible. But anyway, that's all I have for you guys. I truly hope you got something out of this video and that I didn't trigger a lot of you, although who the hell knows nowadays. People get triggered over everything, which is why we need to have more of these conversations, because this is what will hopefully help people rise above all this BS and stop getting offended over stupid crap. Like, we all, just as a whole, need to strive to use logic a bit more than emotions. Not saying emotions are wrong, they can often lead to very faulty ways of thinking. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you like content like this, be sure to subscribe for more. Otherwise, the easiest way you can help me out is just to throw a like and a comment on the video for the algorithm. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Arrivederci.